Hello. Clap once if you can hear me. Clap twice if you can hear me. Clap 3 times if you can hear me. Yeah, that's pretty effective. Great. So welcome, everyone. I am Michelle Glauser. Thank you so much for coming. And first, we're going to hear from Ulysses from Blend. Come on down.
Sorry about that. I was actually taking pictures of you just to make sure it was all good. Welcome to Blend. Oh, we got to do a little bit better than that. Welcome to Blend. There we go. Techtonica's in the house today. Welcome today. I am so excited to have you here. My name is Ulysses Smith. I am head of diversity, inclusion, and belonging here at Blend. I had the pleasure of partnering with Techtonica and Michelle last year when I was at another company and being fortunate enough to hire 2 graduates full-time from Techtonica. You do amazing work, absolutely amazing work. And you'll be happy to know this was the first partnership agreement that we signed here at Blend when I got here, and I'm so excited to have you all here. So tonight, I'm not going to keep you any further. All I want you to do is to have a really good time, learn everything you can about this wonderful program, take full advantage of the opportunities that are being given to you tonight, and to learn about this program. And I hope you get involved. Eat all the food. Please eat all the food because I don't want anything to go to waste. If you want to take some when you leave, please let me know. We'll make that happen for you. I'm so serious about that. In terms of restrooms, if you haven't noticed already, the restrooms are around the corner back there. There's a sign back there. They are both single occupant restrooms, so universal all gender restrooms if you need to take a break at any point in time. And if anything comes up during the event, let me know. Otherwise, I'm hanging out back there, and welcome to Blend again. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Thank you. All right, so just a few quick things. We do have people taking photos and video being recorded tonight. So there's our lovely photographer, Lupita. Thank you so much. Yeah, we are super excited to have you all here. So to start us off, in case you didn't know, you are at a Techtonica event. And Techtonica is a nonprofit, and we empower local women and non-binary adults in need with tech skills. So this is our Twitter handle, at TechtonicaORG. Please tweet tonight. You are welcome to tweet and take pictures. The hashtag we like to use is #BridgeTheTechGap. And the long version of that would be the tech and diversity gap. All right, so first, I just want to acknowledge that Talia is here. There's Talia. Talia's our program manager, and she graduated from the class last year and won't really be saying anything tonight, but I want to acknowledge that she is here. Yay. So I'm Michelle Glauser. I'm the founder and CEO of Techtonica. And I always like to start by telling a little bit about my own story. As you can see, I always loved computers. I just didn't really know what the career opportunities were because I grew up in a large blue-collar family and didn't know anyone who worked in any sort of IT industry. And then in 2012, I was working full-time in San Francisco. I couldn't pay my rent. And I just kept thinking, what the engineers do is so cool, and they make so much more money than I do. How do I do that? So I Googled it and found this new concept of a coding bootcamp and ended up attending. And it was so fantastic. And I kept thinking, why didn't anyone tell me about this? So I started doing a lot of community organizing, and I still lead PyLadies San Francisco today. And that was just kind of my way of paying it forward and helping others join the industry. But I got into the industry and said, how come there's no diversity whatsoever within engineering teams? And so in 2015, I ended up spearheading the I Look Like an Engineer ad campaign, and we raised, I think it was $41,000 to put up ads around the Bay Area showing underrepresented engineers. And the ads looked a lot like this. But I kept thinking about how the Bay Area has a high income disparity, so I did quite a bit of volunteering within the Tenderloin, that's 94102, And that's right across the street from Twitter. And I learned that the income disparity is worse than Rwanda, and that most, or that 60-ish% of people who live there earn less per year than it costs to rent a 1-bedroom. And that just was such a shock to me, and I felt like something should be done about it. And I kept thinking, if only they could have the same opportunity that I had to triple my income by joining tech. But every program I tried to refer people to had quite a bit of barriers. So the first one was that tuition had tripled since I attended, and it just seemed way too high, and like no one could ever save up that much money to me. Also, they expect you not just to have any laptop, but the most expensive laptop. And you have to quit your job, but somehow you still have to pay your rent. So good luck with that. And then I didn't feel like they were very welcoming or supportive of parents or underrepresented people. They weren't very safe for them. And then finally, I felt like without having an existing network in the industry, it's so hard to find a job. Most coding bootcamp grads these days take 6 months to a year to find a job after they graduate. So somehow you have to have enough money to get the laptop, pay tuition, pay for rent while you're attending, and then manage all of your expenses for another 6 months to a year. It just seemed impossible to me. So that's why I started Techtonica. Yay! So it's a very unique business model. Basically, we partner with tech companies in order to offer our services. So we provide tech apprenticeships that include living stipends and job placement. And like I said earlier, it's for local women and non-binary adults with low incomes. And the reason for that target audience is that those are the people most underrepresented in tech. Oh, and here's what I just said. And about 91% of our participants are people of color. So it is a fantastic way to help people really get that economic empowerment they need. We already have so much diversity in the Bay Area. We just need to help people get into tech and take it over, I would say. Yeah, so we started by providing free workshops, and they were at computer labs. We offered childcare and lunch. And we purposely decided to partner with nonprofit groups to provide these workshops as a way of reaching out to the people who need the opportunity the most. And then we said, okay, you learned a little bit about coding today, and if you are interested, we also have a full-time program, and here's what our application process looks like. So after they attend one of those HTML and CSS workshops, we have them fill out a very long, very, very long application. I think I see some nodding here. It is very, very long. And then we invite them to come to a couple of JavaScript workshops where we literally have people standing behind them and filling out forms to kind of rate each person so we can see how they're doing and if they're ready for a transition into such a, or to make such a big life transition. And then we give them a code challenge, which, as you can imagine, is very scary if you've only taken 2 JavaScript classes. But that's just our way of making sure they can apply what they went over and that they can stretch a little bit. And then we pair with them to make their code a little bit more advanced and interview them, and then the board interviews them. So it's a long process, but because we have companies that are literally sponsoring them, we just absolutely need to make sure people are ready to get into the program, basically. So the apprenticeship itself is one of the few programs that I have run into that's open to beginners. And it's 6 months of full-time learning. We assign individual mentors. I think we have a few mentors here tonight. Raise your hand if you are a mentor. Thank you so much. And then we ask that participants attend tech events each month so they can start building the network they will need to succeed long term. And during that application process, these are the characteristics that we are seeking. And then we try to strengthen those during the program as well, because these are the characteristics that will help people be successful in the long run with, within the tech industry. Yes, we have an open source curriculum. So I personally know that several people here have helped with that. So thank you so much. Even though I myself code in Python, I decided after many, many discussions that we should go with full stack JavaScript. And that's because it's the only programming language you can use in the front end and the back end. And I felt like starting there would build a really good, strong foundation for people before they jump to other tech stacks. So it's very project-based. It's very self-driven. We don't like to do lectures because no one is going to hand you a new project and say, and let me give you a lecture first on how this technology works. You have to figure it out. And so this gives them lots of practice at figuring it out. And then finally, the last month is completely customized. So by then, they will know which company they'll be placed with, and the company works with them to decide how they should prepare. So if their team says, we want you to work in Python, then they will learn some Python. Yes, so as I have implied a few times, job placement is included because we have companies that sponsor the costs and then agree to hire at the end. And that way they enjoy some intersectional diversity and they can support locals. And one question we get a lot is, why don't you just take a cut from participants' salaries following the program? There are some programs that have this model. We don't have this model because we believe that by putting one more barrier in the way of underrepresented people, we're just putting another burden on them in a society that already does a lot of that. So we don't want to do that, and we know that diversity is valuable to companies, so they should be the ones paying for it. Also, I firmly believe that if companies invest in local junior talent and stop bringing in new talent and poaching senior engineers from every other company, they can help alleviate some of the displacement and income disparity that's happening. So there is your very quick intro to Techtonica, and now we are going to hear from Melanie Warwick, one of our board members.
Hi. So I'm Melanie Warwick. I met Michelle back in 2013 when I went to a coding boot camp, and she was my mentor. And my career path is a little different in terms of I worked in the film industry for a little while, and then I switched gears and I went off and worked in business consulting for a while, and then decided, because of various reasons, to switch gears again and learn how to code. Part of it being I'd been telling myself a story for the longest time that I couldn't code, that was not my thing, but I really wanted to do tech. And so I decided to challenge that and went back and learned how to program. And it wasn't like, you know, I learned how to program in like 3 months and then I was done. It was definitely one of those things where I learned how to program and I got some really key things out of that experience that set me up to be able to be successful as I went forward. And if you'd asked me in 2013 if I would have been working on an open source neural net platform and building it out myself a few years later, no, I would not have thought that was the case, but that was the case. I did do this. And no, this isn't necessarily what you will do after the program. More, you don't know what's going to come down after this, but there's a lot of possibility, and that's something you got to keep in mind. Your path is not going to be exactly the same as my path or as Michelle's path, but this does at least start you down a path that might be not what you expect. And you've got to open your minds to what that's going to look like. And yes, I'm talking to the apprentices in the room, but I mean, that's true for all of us. Like, we still don't always know what's ahead of us. We do, you know, we have ideas, but it doesn't always play out the way we think. A couple things I wanted to say about the program, because I was sitting here thinking, what do I want to bring up? Couple of things. One, something I've been telling a lot of people lately from a, you know, here's what you think about when you're getting into this kind of program. Be ready to make mistakes. And like, go after making mistakes. Fail. Try to fail. Try things out. Try to break things. This is the time to do it. When you're in an education setting, that is the time to take risks and to really push yourself to try things you would never normally try, because it's the safest environment for you to do that. And it allows you to expand yourself in ways you don't expect. And it gets more and more difficult as we get older as we get more set in whatever we're doing, to break things. But even the people who are outside of the school system, we've got to break things sometimes and then learn from that. So be ready and willing to make mistakes, look however uncomfortable you need to look, and trust that you're going to figure it out. That's the other point I want to make. One of the key skills I'm always telling people that is very vital for them to show and to take away is your ability to deal with chaos, the unknown. The ability to look at something and have no clue what to do with it, and then to figure it out. And maybe you don't fully figure it out. Maybe it's not exactly the way you expected, but get an understanding that you can get through whatever that unknown is. Because that's what coding, frankly, is a lot about. Most of us sit down with something and we're just like, I got to solve for X. I really don't know how to do that. But then you get the skills and the tools you need from programs like this to understand how to get through that. And this is true for a lot of things we do in life in general. It's very true, especially for engineering. So be ready to, understand what are the key skills you need to be successful in chaos. And then the other thing, especially for the apprentices, is what I found the most valuable out of the boot camp I went through was the network that I had when I walked away from the boot camp. I'm still in touch with many of the women from that program on a regular basis. Like, easily I'm talking to several of them weekly. So this network, you're not all going to be the bestest of friends. If you are, great. Statistics, probably not. But you're still going to at least have a common experience that will bond you in a way. And as you grow in your careers, you'll be able to help each other in ways that you don't really fully see right now. But that's why it's very important to, be there for each other as much as you can, help each other out, and understand, you're not going to all like each other, you're not always going to get along, but you're going to still survive through this. I say survive. You'll survive. It'll be hard, but you will survive. And that will only make you stronger. You'll be in the trenches, and then you'll get out, and you'll be like, oh my God, did you know what we went through? So this network is really valuable. So cherish that network, nurture it, don't lose sight of it, and stay in touch with it. You don't have to talk to everybody all the time for the rest of your lives. I don't talk to everybody from the boot camp I went to all the time, but I do stay in touch with many of them, and we have helped each other out throughout the years. So those are my key pieces of advice for this program and what to think about what you're going forward. Good luck.
Okay, thank you, Melanie. You always are great at pep talks. We are going to move into hearing from each of the members of our new cohort. Here they are. I thought the bridge in the background was appropriate since our hashtag is Bridge the Tech Gap. And yeah, let's have them come up one by one and introduce themselves. And the first one is Alicia. So unfortunately, Alicia could not make it tonight, but I wanted to read a little bit about her. And we will also be publishing profiles about each of them on our Medium later this week. So watch for that, but you will find this part too. So it talks about Alicia. It says, I spent 10 years in the United States Air Force as a military police officer. I worked 3 years for CAL FIRE as a firefighter. After a life of action, I decided to go into the field of executive assisting. I have 4 daughters and the best husband. And it asked, what made you decide to apply for Techtonica? I knew this was the time to apply. I recently had a medical scare that almost took my life. I told myself, if I make it out, I definitely will be applying for Techtonica. Also, growing up, I always heard, call the tech guy. I want to change that. All right. So next we have Christina. Come on down. And since it's alphabetical, folks, if you would like to get ready by standing over here, that would be fantastic.
I just want to start off, oops, so sorry. All right, there you go, reset, okay. I just want to start off with reciting a quote that a very wise person once told me. I'm going to try to do this from the top of my head, but I will look down at my notes right here. So here we go. Don't pursue a job title. Instead, pursue an opportunity that gives you a chance to fix a problem that you are most passionate about. Hi, My name is Christy, and my pronoun is she, her, and I am a current software engineering apprentice at Techtonica. Before being accepted to this program, I studied microbiology with a focus on infectious diseases. I also studied nursing at SFSU and San Jose State University. From there, I worked in a laboratory setting, isolating cell cultures for further study, as well as working in a hospice care facility comforting terminally ill patients. Yet, after working in the aforementioned fields, I am forever grateful for the sense of personal growth that I was able to learn. These include patience, humility, empathy, and commitment. Yet after careful deliberation, I decided to switch career paths and focus my attention in pursuing a career in technology. Even though I have very limited formal education pertaining to programming, I always had a deep-rooted appreciation, fascination, and curiosity for anything involving technology. And with this in hand, I decided to pursue and dedicate myself to learning anything that has to do with coding and such whatnot. I am so grateful for this opportunity, and I want to not only change advocating for women into the program, but I also want to create a solution that benefits for the greater good of our society. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you.
Jennifer. I also should have mentioned that I'm timing, and I told them I would. So if anyone gets to 3 minutes, I'm going to start clapping, and we're all going to be very happy that their thing is over. All right, Jennifer.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Lay Jowett, and my tech journey begins with a gap year at Cal. I was burned out, and I was unsure of my pursuit to medical school. I found a job in tech, and while I was there, I was really amazed at the impact the engineers had at their fingertips, but more so how happy they were in their careers. So just like that, I began to teach myself how to program. And I taught myself full stack development. I built and I read programming books and went to meetups and hackathons. That mounted to thank you. That mounted to phone screens, and in-person interviews, but no offer. So it was time to take a break, and I had the opportunity to work with employers that were really understanding with my transition into tech. And about 6 months in, she asked me, what am I going to do for the summer? And I was speechless. Not because the question was a hard one, but because this highlighted the fact that I haven't been working on my tech career for the last 6 months. So I reach out to my network, and a friend of mine is a mentor for Techtonica, and she tells me I should check it out, and I did. When I first found Techtonica, I wasn't looking for formal training, but I saw it as an opportunity to jump right in and learn something new. I was amazed at the network of women and people that were there. The whole entire organization was there to help me learn and break into tech. And just like that, I felt like I found a loophole in an ironclad contract. If it wasn't for me taking the gap year, working in tech, if I didn't teach myself how to program, if I didn't fail, if not for what are you doing this summer, and if I didn't put myself back out there again, I wouldn't be standing here in front of you today. I am so grateful for the broken path because it led me here to Techtonica, and because of that, I have met amazing people who I have the privilege to call my friends. I don't know where the next 6 months will take me, but I'm looking forward to applying what I learned and giving back to the community that's given me so much. Again, my name is Jennifer Lay Jowett, and thank you for listening to my story.
Juliana.
Hi, my name is Juliana. Sorry, I'm sick, so my voice is gonna be kind of weird. So my name is Juliana, pronouns she and her. I'm from São Paulo, Brazil. Moved to USA 8 years ago. So, like every immigrant in US, I had all kinds of jobs when I got here. So I was dog walker, cashier, barista. But then 2 years ago, I got a job in a big tech company as a content moderator because I knew Brazilian Portuguese. And over there, I had the opportunity of doing some free courses about coding. So I did one for Python and one for SQL. And then I thought, oh, that's really cool. I really want to learn more about that. And I had coded before in my life. Like, I did some coding classes in high school. And I work as a web designer, but a long time ago, like in the early 2000s, completely different technology. But I never thought of having a career as an engineer. But then, because of those courses I did last year, I thought, I want to learn more. So I started looking for boot camps. But the prices of boot camps in San Francisco are really scary right now. So I thought, oh, I don't know, I'm scared. But that was the right moment that I learned about Techtonica. It was a Latinas in Tech Facebook group. And then it was like in the last day, I applied. And here I am. And now the whole thing about becoming a software engineer is really exciting for me. Like, being able to code nowadays is a really powerful thing, and I really want to have this power. I want to, being a software engineer, I want to improve my quality of life. I want to take all these challenges that I know are coming. And I definitely want to represent women and Latinas in the tech industry and try to change diversity and visibility. That's it. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Kay, and I use they, them pronouns. And I grew up in the Bay Area, and I've always been a really curious person and really interested in like diving deep into a problem and looking at all of the possible solutions and finding the best one. And I thought that this skill set would lead me to a career in medicine, but that just wasn't the right path for me. And so I kind of started working a bunch of customer service jobs for a couple of years and honestly just like living paycheck to paycheck. And it felt like a really dead end, and it kind of sucked for a while. And then I found out, like, I just got the idea, like, what if I could be a coder? And that sounded so cool to me. And so I started teaching myself to code, and I really, really fell in love with it. Like, coding taught me a lot about myself. It taught me like how to see my own potential and that I was smarter than I had been giving myself credit for. And it was just exciting and like a boundless topic. And I like realized that I could have a greater impact through technology than I had thought before through medicine. And yeah, so then I was like, okay, well, that's cool and everything. I can kind of teach myself some stuff, but then getting to that next level so that I can get an entry-level job was a whole nother story, you know? And I didn't have the time to study or like basically just the resources that I needed to get there. And so I was kind of feeling again like at a dead end, and then I found out about Techtonica. And those worries kind of melted away because of the incredible support that's available through this program for people, for women and non-binary people. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of this group because I've already been inspired by so many of you, and I've learned a lot, and I'm excited. You know, it's only been 2 weeks, so what could happen in the next 6 months? I don't know. But yeah, I know that I want to give back in the short term. I would like to be a mentor of the program once I graduate. And then in the long term, my interest lies somewhere in just opening the door for people people whose voices have been stifled or silenced. So yeah, I'm really, really grateful to be here, and thanks for listening to my story.
Katie.
Hey, what's up? So, were you gonna use that? Nah. Okay, so, hi, my name is Katie. My pronouns are she and her. Born and raised in SF, double majored in international relations and economics. I thought that I was going to pursue a career in US diplomacy, but after doing a couple of internships, I realized I wanted to be in a work environment that fosters and welcomes taking ownership of creativity. So with that, I chose to pursue a career in web development or app development. And so I love to express my inner child. And one of the things I do to feed that side of me is to do animations and learn how to do game development. And with that, I hope that by the end of this program, I can make some mobile game app that helps other people find and nurture their own inner child as well. That's it.
Thanks, Katie. Keisha.
Hello, my name is Keisha. I moved to, let me start over, sorry. I'm a little bit nervous. All right. Hello, I'm Keisha. I moved to the Bay Area 3 years ago, but I was born and raised in Louisiana. Growing up, I was always curious about computers, so I would take them apart and put them back together. My family often came to me when they had any technical issues with their computer, phone, anything that had to do with technology, because they knew I could fix it. Before Techtonica, I was in customer service, and I did that for a year, but then I realized I really wanted to be in tech, helping solving everyday problems and impacting my community. There was only one problem stopping me from getting into tech. Well, a couple of problems. One, I didn't have a CS degree, and I didn't see too many black people as well as black women engineers. But nevertheless, I never let that stop me from pursuing a tech career. I was introduced to Year Up, and through Year Up, I was placed in a 6-month internship at Gap Inc. doing QA automation. During my time at Gap, I was able to learn C#, automation, and I pair programmed with a team that was in Brazil, and I thought that was pretty cool. What attracted me to Techtonica was their motto, which is Bridge the Tech Gap, because I feel like there should be more initiatives towards getting women, people of color, and underrepresented groups into tech. I also believe that everyone should have access to technology, so my plans after Techtonica is to create different products that are made accessible for everyone. Thank you guys for coming, and thank you for being supportive.
Lilia.
Hello, my name is Lilia. I'm originally from LA. I majored in history, and then I moved to the Bay, sort of aimlessly looking to get into tech. And I bounced around a lot of different roles, and I learned a few things. I am terrible at sales, like absolutely bad. And during this period, I found Techtonica, and I found a community of people who were just like me, intellectually curious, people whose faces I didn't see at the companies I went to work with. And that's what inspired me to join. And for me, what I hope to do, besides building the best foundation I can, is advocate for people just like me, low-income students, first generation, and Latinx. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Lo Ferris. My pronouns are they, them. I am transitioning from a career in writing education and literary arts into a new career in software engineering. I'm passionate about working in technology because I think the work we do should be a part of like the solution for our community's problems. And also, I love to code. Also, even though my family's lived in the Bay Area for like 4 generations, my background in poetry enriches my life in many ways, but I've also like lived in almost 20 different places, like in the East Bay and San Francisco in the past 12 years. So I was really excited to apply and be admitted to Techtonica because I really believe in its mission and particularly the piece of empowerment and like agency. And and I think it's gonna make me a fantastic colleague on a software engineering team. I think that I'm going to be a very valuable asset on any team because I am yeah I'm an expert at communicating complex concepts to diverse audiences. I'm going to write informative and eloquent documentation, and I'm a creative and insightful problem solver. And thanks to Techtonica for teaching me how to advocate for myself like this. Thanks.
Mega.
Hi, my name is Mega. So I was born and raised in Indonesia, and I came here 2 years ago. I have always been interested in tech since I was a kid, and I played my first computer game. I've always been intrigued by how exactly those games are created. I even taught myself Java. But unfortunately, I still couldn't get into tech because as a woman in Indonesia, we had so little support and opportunity. Even when I told my parents, Mom, I wanted to be a software engineer, and my mom was like, no, why don't you find a software engineer husband? So, yeah, so, but now I'm here, and I'm very grateful. I'm very excited for Techtonica, because Techtonica has always, Techtonica has given me the opportunity that I never given before. Thank you.
Naomi.
Hi, my name is Naomi Quinones, and I see my sister in the back. Thanks for coming. She's wearing blue. Just give me a second. I'll get it. I think one of the things that we've been learning this past week about growth mindset has really affected me because I've come to realize that I maybe have been living in a fixed mindset for quite a long time. But I am learning to change that. And I am very proud to stand before you as a software engineering apprentice, not just by myself, but with my amazing cohort of software engineers. I've been teaching at an adult school for a very long time, and every time I taught a web class, I felt like I was sending my students on to do something that I wanted to be doing. But I didn't have a computer science degree or a math degree, and so I felt that I needed a lot more training to become a web developer or some kind of engineer. And I went to workshops and I went to meetups, but I always felt like there was this huge gap between me and the engineers. And at the same time, I would have students who'd come through my classes, and they were already charging 3 times what I was making as their teacher. And they didn't even know how to write HTML or CSS, let alone JavaScript. And I used to think to myself, there's something wrong here. And so I sent out my resume and got no responses. And I started looking at boot camps and other ways of training myself. And then I found Techtonica. And I'm so glad that I got in. I told Michelle the other day that this is the first time in a really long time that I've really felt happy. And I think my sister knows that I really, really am happy here. And it's only the 2nd week, but already I know how to change my command line colors. I've added like 4, 5, 6, 7 colors to it. And this morning I broke my Git. I deleted a folder accidentally, and I spent 4 hours down this rabbit hole. And thanks to all the volunteers and thanks to my fellow apprentices, Mega and Noi, they sat with me as I was trying to figure out what happened, and we learned so much. And that's the safe space that they've created for us to be able to make those mistakes and learn from them and just work with each other and support each other and help each other. I was here on Saturday with Regina, and she helped me figure out something else that I broke. And that is just such a magical space for us to have. And I know we are all so grateful. And I think we all are quickly becoming friends. I know sometimes it can be difficult, but I really thank you, Michelle.
Natalia.
Hi, my name is Natalia. I'm from Brazil. I have a really diverse background. I've worked in sales, customer service. I had a business. I've helped a lot of entrepreneurs create their own business, and I had my own too. So I had a hostel for 3 years, and this hostel got an award for one of the best places to stay in Rio de Janeiro. And when Olympic Games came, I saw one opportunity and I sold the hostel. So I came here as a vacation, and surrounded of all this entrepreneurial life, I decided to stay here. And then I started to check all the ways and possibilities that I could work in the tech industry, but none was really going to fit on my budget. So I tried another nonprofit, but I didn't feel part of it. And by luck, I don't know, I just saw Techtonica in the last day, Latinas in Tech too. Thanks, gosh, for that. And I signed myself for this wonderful program. And since then, I'm like so lucky and so happy to be part not only of a program, but be part of a family for the first time in my life in America. And I would like for sure to create something back for the community. Like today we are talking about that, and not only for the community, but back for Techtonica too. And I believe if we have the right mindset and a motivation, we can do anything in life. So I'm ready for these next 6 months. Thanks for coming.
Mia.
Yeah, sorry. Hi, everyone. My name is Nia Charrington, and I've always had a lot of interests. And programming and tech in general emerged as a way for me to explore all of those different interests that I have in throughout my career. So I got started in tech. I went to school at University of Missouri Columbia. I studied biological engineering, but I left early because the school ended up not being a good fit for me. It was not uncommon to face issues of prejudice in a engineering school that was overwhelmingly white and male. It was not uncommon to face overt racism in a very small rural town such as Columbia, Missouri. So I left and I kind of jumped at an opportunity to move to the Bay Area 5 years ago. And I worked in biotech for a while. And there, it really solidified to me that the tech industry is where I wanted to be, that programming is something that I wanted to do, but I think as we all kind of know, it's very expensive to live here. And so finding the time to just learn on your own was really difficult. So that's why I'm so incredibly grateful for Techtonica, Michelle, Talia, all our volunteers and mentors for just the opportunity to have time to learn and to really hone all of those skills so that I can, enter into the field and be confident with it. So I'm excited to continue learning. I really want to make sure in the near term that I'm focusing on how I can be a good team member on an engineering team and influence the development of whatever products that we're working on to be more inclusive. And then in the long term, I really want my career to be about how we can use tech to bring, to empower communities which are underserved and, underrepresented, and generally just try to make, the world a better place. Yeah.
Noi.
Hi everyone, my name is Noi. I came to the US 10 years ago. My first job was I was working as a waitress at the Thai restaurant. I have been doing that for 3 years while I'm taking ESL and English classes to learn English. I was working at Berkeley Public Library as a library aide for 6.5 years before I come to join Techtonica. My inspiration to come into tech came from my obstacle of learning language. After I have enough English skills, I decided to take 3D animation classes because I want to use the 3D technology to help people. I want to use the 3D technologies to animate the mouth and facial movement to help people learn language nationally. I am excited to be at Techtonica. I believe that in this program, I will have opportunity to learn up-to-date web technologies. I will have opportunities to learn to work in the real tech environment. And I will have great opportunity to work and learn from professionals who already works in this field. I also believe that the skills and knowledge I will learn from Techtonica will get me into a promising career. And in the future, I want to be able to create something to help people live the better life. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle.
Regina.
Hi, my name is Regina. Pronouns she, her. How's everyone doing today? So my programming story started in high school when my computer teacher told us that we were going to have a computer day. And he showed us some simple things on HTML. And ever since then, I've been fascinated by just how lines of code could create something like an app or a website. So I thought about going into computer science. But at the time, I didn't really know of many engineers who were female. And I was also rather intimidated by the amounts of math I thought I was going to have to take, especially high-level math. I didn't really have much formal training in programming, except for the free online classes that I took. And my previous job was in digital marketing. Because of this, I wasn't sure how I was going to break into tech. But a friend of mine who was in Techtonica's previous cohort, shout out to Chisum, told me about Techtonica. And I thought I would give it a try and go to one of their coding workshops. And once I was there, I saw just how supportive and how helpful they were as a community. And I thought to myself, this is what I want to be part of. And I took the plunge and applied. So that's how I'm here now. I'm super excited for the next 6 months of my Techtonica journey, and I still can't believe that in 6 months I'll be able to create projects that I could only dream of before. And yeah, even a week in, I feel like I'm learning a lot already with wonderful people in my cohort. Thank you. Oh, and I see my family. Hi, guys.
Shauna.
Hello. My name is Shauna, and I am so excited to be here, and in so many ways, I can't believe that I'm standing here right now. I'm a visual artist, and I have a background in art history and fine arts, and I guess I didn't have that growth mindset either. Way back when I supported a team of UX designers, curators, educators, and software engineers when I worked at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I was in collections management. I was maintaining their database, working on my MFA, and I felt so amazed by the group of people that I was surrounded by, and I was so inspired by their work. But I didn't have any computer science experience. I didn't take any, high-level math or any programming when I was working on my BA, and certainly almost, finished with my MFA, my master's. I didn't really see how all of that would fit in. So I stayed on my path, and that path took a little bit of a detour in my career. And my husband and I moved from New York back to the Bay Area and started a family. And I was working in not in any fields related to art. And it's something that's so essential to my identity. But it was getting further and further away from me. My son is my biggest inspiration, because I look at him and I see all of his joy and happiness, and I just want to mirror that. And it's become so much more clear to me that it's so important to love what you do and to bring that home with you. So I started taking classes online, first in graphic design, and I wanted to be able to develop my own website and be able to maintain it myself. So I took a coding class, I took a web design class, and I discovered how much I loved it. And bringing my background in art and my love of coding together, I hope to start a new career in UX design. I was getting very discouraged by, just looking at typical boot camps, which would take nights and weekends away from my family. So I'm so excited to be here at Techtonica, and thank you all very much.
Yasmin. I love how there's like a photo shoot going on out there. It's a good photo opportunity.
Hi everyone, my name is Yasmin. My pronouns are she, her. I am excited about breaking into the field of software engineering because I've always loved problem solving, efficiency, and protecting information. I believe that I'd be a strong software engineer because I have experience in copy editing, which is kind of similar. You focus on syntax, analytical thinking, and simplicity. I was always interested in computer science as a child. I won Student of the Year for computer science when I was little. However, I was made to take ESL classes for years because my parents are multilingual, so the school system said that I also couldn't speak English. So I ended up missing a lot of math and science classes, and it was really hard for me to catch up, and therefore I kind of started to lose interest in the field of STEM because it was just so hard for me to catch up. I'm really excited about Techtonica because of the collaborative aspect. I feel like even in the past week and a half, I've learned so much from my cohort, and kind of introspectively, like the way that I learn is very different than I thought it would be. So I'm really excited to delve more into the field of technology because I'm very interested in data and kind of focusing on how to keep that all secure. So, and as a freelance journalist, as a former freelance journalist, I understand the importance of like keeping information private. So I'm very excited to delve into technology and focus on how I can help everyone keep their information safe and secure. I'm really excited to be a part of Techtonica, and I am so looking forward to learning with everyone. Thank you.
Okay, nice job, everyone. So I just want to take a moment for us to thank all of the donors and mentors and volunteers and friends and family and pretty much everyone who has in some way helped Techtonica and the participants of Techtonica succeed. So let's give everyone a round of applause. Yay! And now, really quickly, if you have graduated from Techtonica, please raise your hand or stand up or, yeah. Woohoo! We got a few of you here. Awesome. Leanne, I didn't see your hand. Great, so you get to hear from one of them now. Yay, please welcome Oba.
I'm really so glad to be here tonight. And to piggyback what Michelle said earlier, my family, which is back in Somalia, they're having a hard time that I don't have to pay back this. They always make sure, and they say, hey, Oba, you sure? It's all free? You get a job? You're not gonna have to pay back? I'm like, yeah, Mom, stop worrying about it. I'm 100% sure. I read the contract. It's really an amazing opportunity. So just to give you a little background about myself, I came from Somalia 6 years ago. Came to America by myself, went back to high school. If you're worried about getting a degree in computer science, I'm here, living proof that you don't have to. I really made it. And I'm only high school graduate, although I taught myself English, so you don't have to. Don't worry about that. You will make it. And when I graduated from Techtonica, I decided to come back for 2 reasons tonight and make this talk. Number one, I know what it feels to walk this path. And I know you all want to know what's at the end. I'm telling you, it's great. It's really amazing. My life took another look and color. You know, everything's amazing. So I want to assure you that. Don't stress about the end. It's going to be worth it. The second reason I came back is I had the opportunity of having amazing mentors. And they shared a lot with me. And I want to share that back to you because I really think it will help you a lot to really go through this program and thrive, not survive. So in January, Talia, which is also a Techtonica alumna, she made a talk. And she started with a quote. She said, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And that kind of resonated with me because I was thinking, a sprint, you're going to really hurry up. But she said, no, you have to take your pace. And at the same night she was making the talk, I have that picture. And if you look at it, I was that guy in the back. And I was like, you know what? I have a late start, but I'm just going to be in the rubber. All of a sudden, I would just go to the front. So that was the picture that I would look every time on my computer. And that's me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get it. And also, direction is really important over speed. Don't try to hurry up because Techtonica is giving you a direction to really take you that path. It's going to set you up for a success. So don't think you have to hurry up. It's direction over speed. And actually, you know what? I will ask you, all the apprentices, if you can take a moment to stand up. And we're going to do a little exercise together. There's no trick. So if you can get up, all the apprentices, and we're just going to do something. I want you, simple, easy, exercise, to fold your hands like that. All right? So some of you will have the left over, I don't know. So you just look which hand is over the other one. All right? Okay, now switch it over. So, okay. So now how it feels. Yeah, it feels weird. You have to think about it a little bit, right? At the first time, you don't really have to. And that brings me to my second point, which is, you can have a seat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So that brings me to my second point, which is, as human beings, as adults, when we're learning, there's zones. When you did the first move, that was your comfort zone. You don't have to really think about it. But there's other zones. Okay, so there's like a learning zone. So learning zone, once you get there, that's where Techtonica is. That's the growth zone. So you learn, it's challenging, things that are unfamiliar, they feel weird, stressful. And then there's the panic zone. And if you stretch a little bit too far from comfort zone and you get to panic zone, you get to the anxiety and fear and doubt. And you don't want to stay there because learning is impossible in there. So I really want you to remember this. Every time that doubt creeps in, because it will, because you're going to be stretching from comfort to panic sometimes, to bring back yourself and say, wait a minute, deliberately come back to the learning zone. And I want you to stay in the learning zone. It's okay. It's human. We're like, it's natural feeling. You're not the only one that's going crazy. Don't think that way. This is another tip that my mentor shared with me. I am a very independent person. I did so much in my life that I think I can do everything. And he said, Oba, you can do, but trust people. People can help you and get you there faster, wherever you're going. Build that network. It doesn't have to be coding. You can meet anybody you don't know. They may know the next person that will help you. So trust people that they can help you. And that quote that Isaac Newton said, it's you learn from other people if you want to go far. You want to learn from their mistakes. You want to learn from your mentors. Don't use them just as source of coding, but tell them what you want to do. They will help you because they will have more experience over you. So I would say learn from them as much as you can. Because if I can do one thing over in my life, It's getting a mentor when I was like really young, because I already know the benefit it had me over a short period of my life. All right, this is the one. So when I started my job, I work at a company as a front-end engineer, and I'm just doing great. I'm doing amazing. I'm surprised. And the real support I was like, oh my God, I didn't really, like I will learn, but I didn't spend too much trying to learn shortcuts. And that's really important. If you don't want to have all the support and do what I would say, this is the perfect time to really practice that. Every day, try to master those keyboard shortcuts. You will see it will pay off. And also, I don't want to just tell you the good things. There's mistakes that I made, and I want to share. And I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I did. So when I was attending at Techtonica, I didn't really ask a lot of questions. If you look at the tech help, you might not see me in there, because I was always had this fear of asking the wrong thing. And I don't want you to do that mistake. I'm not immune to fear. I'm just like you. So I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know what I want to ask, So, but that was not the good thing to do. Now I know the benefit of asking a question, because now I ask at my job. It helps me a lot. I don't sit there. I just go, hey, can you help me? And I was like, I wish I had did this before. The second mistake I did was actually, another one was I had the wrong mindset. I was thinking this is going to be a mastery program, very high expectation, and I wanted to understand everything. I was like, why do we have to move? I don't even know what this is, and now we're going to learn another concept. This is so chaotic, but it was not. And I had to talk to my mentor, and he was like, Oba, I understand you want to go deep, but it's better to broad. This program is to teach you like a lot of things so you can pick where you want. And it's a really good way to learn, and you will see. And I was like, okay, I'm going to trust you. So I have to trust him to really be the person I am today. And that's why I'm saying trust people, because sometimes they know what you don't know. Sometimes I will be pretending that I understood, and I didn't. I will ask a question, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, okay, thank you, but I have no clue. So don't pretend. If you don't understand, say, I'm sorry, I don't, or just put it another way until you get it. Me and Sensen, which is also alumni, we were talking. She was like, yeah, sometimes it's like you say, what? And then what's that? And what? So, it's going to keep going. A lot of different things but keep doing it until really understand, because that would help. Another thing that I really hate to admit is that I cheated on the meetups. And Michelle is here, so I kind of feel bad, but I was like, I'm going to tell the truth. So, yeah. So I attended some. I did the 3 first months, but I kind of cheated at the end. But I'm telling you, go to those meetups. They will really help you. It was one of those things I thought I would never need. But there's a quote that says, your network is your net worth, which is true. Because now I know the mentors that I met and the people that they connected me. I was like, oh my God, if I went more of them, I could have met all these amazing people that could have helped me to get there and whatever I wanted. So I will go back. I'm going now. I'm just settling into my job. But trust me, I will go back and attend more. And so I want you to take your pace and learn as don't compare, and I said this before, with anybody else. You can have in the same class people who have, degrees, did coding. That is really good opportunity. You know why? Because you have somebody to get help from. And instead of, if you're all like, nobody knows what they're doing, it's like a sinking boat. But if you have somebody who did some coding and they have an idea, they will help you. You are all in this together. So like if I have somebody next to me that knows what I don't know, I'll be like, oh, good, can you help me? And that's how I got. So I would say, don't get scared and compare it to yourself if you're sitting next to somebody who knows. It's a good opportunity to learn from them. So seize it. And thank you so much. I wish you all the best. And I will say again, never quit. It's really amazing.
going to be checking in with you about those meetups. So. Okay, just kidding. So we are at a very exciting part of the evening. Not that all of the other things weren't exciting, but the apprentices included do not know who the sponsors are for this cohort. So the supporter level sponsors are companies that made a small donation in order to support this cohort, and they will not be hiring, but they are pretty awesome. Branch and Scale are the ones. So thank you, Branch and Scale. Yay! And now, for the advocate level sponsors, we don't have all of them yet, actually. People are still finalizing their contracts. You'd be surprised how long that takes sometimes. But these are the ones we have, and I am very excited about them. And every one of the ones that we will be announcing tonight, or wait, most of them will be hiring multiple people from this cohort. So that means most of you will be working with other people from your cohort, which is pretty cool. All right, drum roll for the first one. Indeed. Not a surprise, because they also host us, and they also sponsored 40% of the last cohort. So they will be taking about a third of this current cohort. Yeah, indeed. Woo. Their motto is, "We help people get jobs," and I believe them. The next one is Cisco Meraki. Woohoo! And then Blend. Woo! Thanks, Ulysses. And finally, drum roll for the last one. Google! Yeah, so very exciting. You get to look forward to some pretty cool places. Yay! So this is just a very fabulous list of all of the different individuals as well as companies that have supported us over the last couple of years. We are always looking for more. So if any of you know people at companies that may be interested in sponsoring Techtonica, please make that connection, and we will do our best to get them on board as a sponsor. So yeah, that's the first one. We always need help spreading the word. We are all over social media. So anytime you see something, if you share it, it may get to someone who can help us at some point. We always take donations. It's pretty easy to find our donate button on the website. And we love volunteers. We depend so much on volunteers for just helping with different topics, for setting things up, for creating newsletters and social media posts, for doing technical mentoring, all sorts of things. And if you have ever filled out our volunteer form, you will know it asks you quite a few questions about, or it offers a lot of different ways you can help, and you select those, and then we reach out to people depending on what their skills are. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and please grab some food and congratulate the apprentices. Woohoo! Ulysses has something.
Just one thing. I will not take offense to everybody screaming at Google and not at Blend, but that's okay. Nobody works. Okay, take it back. No, I was not kidding about the food, though. So please, 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 we put out to-go boxes. Please make sure you grab some, take some on the way out. Waste not, want not. I grew up in the South. It was a really big deal to me. I neglected to do this earlier, and unfortunately, she had to go run to catch a bus. But I cannot take credit for anything that took place tonight. I did not do any heavy lifting at all. I moved maybe one table. That's about it. But first, I'd like to thank Aram for making sure that all the tech was working here tonight. So, and for actually staying for the duration of the event. And then secondly, Ariana, who was in the back earlier, who really, without her vision and skillful execution, none of the events that we do at Blend would actually work. So she's not in the room, but give her a big shout out because she absolutely deserves it. So I really enjoyed hearing all of your stories tonight. I could tell people about Blend, but they didn't seem excited though. No. What do we do? I don't know. I'm not on the product side. What do we do? No. Blend is a digital mortgage platform. I should say we started there, right? Our whole mission, this is one of the most mission-driven organizations I've ever been in. And the reason I decided to work here at Blend was because immediately upon hearing what the company actually did, I immediately had a million ideas of how what the company does definitely touches and works in tandem with what I do in the realm of equity, inclusion, and diversity. We create access and simplicity to consumer finance for groups who typically don't have that access. So when you think about maybe some of you in this room may have gone through the mortgage process, yes, no, or anybody ever applied for a loan in general, on paper, had to walk into a bank, and in many cases we see very specific groups face overt discrimination. Statistically, Black and brown folks will always have higher interest rates than their white counterparts, even if they have the exact same qualifications. And so by enabling people to apply for mortgages digitally and connect some of their assets and other things that determine credit worthiness, which we can talk about structural discrimination another time, but Blend facilitates that. So you'll never know you're using the Blend product. We sell to banks and credit unions who actually implement it on their platform. So we digitize the entire mortgage process. We've since gone into auto and title insurance and all types of other things. So we're growing in that sense. So and we're pioneers in the market. So there's nobody else doing this. So it's a really good time to work at Blend. And we just completed our Series E a couple of weeks ago. So raised $130 million. That's a big deal. Big deal. And so we are really excited to be partnering with so many other folks. And if you've taken the time to read the Blend blog and my big story, I was going to say my coming out story, but I was like, did that already. But to read kind of how we've articulated what our vision around diversity, inclusion, and belonging is, one of our core pillars, which is really important to me, is community impact and community investment. We have a choice to make in the Bay Area as an organization. We can be an unnamed company that gets booed out of Oakland, or we can be a company who decides to establish ourselves as a trusted and equitable partner, right? Who comes in and actually invests in communities where we're present. Sometimes we have to make decisions that will not always be what's best in the financial short term for the company, but is in the best interest long term to make sure we maintain trust with our community partners, because that's what's most important to us here. And I've never been in a company that has put that first the way Blend does. I don't say that lightly. So yeah, so that's Blend in a nutshell. Yeah, so, yeah, all right. Yeah, so get the food, don't forget. And again, I enjoyed hearing your stories. I actually came from higher ed from New York. I grew up in Florida, but moved from New York, and the struggle to get into tech. The struggle to get into tech was real, to come out of higher education, and then folks, regardless of the fact that you've done this for a number of years, right, the exact same role a number of years in a different industry, people look at you like, huh? But you've never done it in tech. I don't think you can do it. I don't think you can do it. It's like, oh my God. So I hear you, and you have my full support in moving forward and doing this, so because I'm yours in the struggle. All right, so enjoy the rest of the night. Thanks again.